Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight. Oh, fuck me running tonight. You guys can see the title up there. At least if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the title clearly posted up there. God damn it, that just makes me ill. And when somebody first requested this stupid thing, I actually thought they were fucking joking. I really thought that was a joke title, but no. I have physical proof in my hands that in 2010, some slack-jawed chimp thought it was a good idea to make a parody film and call it The 41-Year-Old Virgin Who Knocked Up Sarah Marshall and Felt Super Bad About It. God damn it. Okay. First is a little point of reference. The title of this, for those of you who don't totally know, is basically stealing the titles or ripping off the titles or referencing the titles of 4 movies I've never seen. I've never seen The 40-Year-Old Virgin, or Knocked Up, or Forgetting Sarah Marshall, or Superbad. So I probably am not going to know a single fucking reference in this goddamn movie if they're going to stick with those 4 and only those 4. That's kind of a small reference pool. I don't really think I'm going to get a lot out of it. However, I have kept myself even more secretive about this fucking thing than I have most other movies. Because most other movies, I'm willing to at least watch a trailer. I refused to watch a trailer, because I flat out refuse to think that something like this actually exists. Every single time I feel the urge, whenever someone asks me about this thing and I have to say the title, I always feel sort of sick. Every time I say The 41-Year-Old Virgin Who Knocked Up Sarah Marshall and Felt Super Bad About It, I feel the need to retch just a little bit, okay? That's how stupid sounding this fucking title is. So, I don't know what the fuck I'm getting into. All I know is that it's a parody film. Apparently, it's going to be using elements from The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Superbad, Knocked Up, and Forgetting Sarah Marshall. That's all I fucking know. And I know it stars Brian fucking Callen, because he's right there on the goddamn cover. Brian Callen, for those of you who don't know, was one of the stars of Mad TV back when Mad TV was good. And still on the air. But back when the show was watchable, he was with the cast. In fact, it almost seemed like a couple of years after he left, the show went to shit real fast. But does that mean that he'll be able to hold up a movie all on his own? I don't know. I really have no fucking clue. I am about to find out though. So, you know, normally I at least have like a spark of hope that these movies I watch are going to be decent, but this one here, that spark is so faint it might as well not even exist. But there's still that itty-bitty sliver of hope that this thing might be watchable, this thing might be fun, but I am such a cynical fucker that every single one of those feelings is just so small. But there is still that hope that this movie will be good, so it's time to find out. Without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out The 41-Year-Old Virgin Who Knocked Up Sarah Marshall and Felt Super Bad About It. McAnal Lovin'?
Great idea. That's fucking awesome, man.
Are you fucking serious?
Because I am McAnal Lovin'.
God
Damn
damn it all up. Fucking hell, this is gonna be fucking brutal. So a movie from 2010, but it was a good idea to reference all things fucking Verizon guy, who I thought stopped being relevant back in like, what, 2005? That is a reference that is 5 years too late. Oh, and they followed up with a Mentos and Diet Coke reference. At least they're keeping it kind of timely, I guess. So, we just had a Twilight reference. You know, out of all the shit I thought this movie was going to reference, Twilight never even crossed my mind. And like every other reference and joke in this movie so far, it wasn't funny, it wasn't witty, it wasn't creative, and with every passing second, I wish for the sweet release of death. Are you fucking serious? 2 references to the Verizon guy. I want to find the writers. And I want to kill them. Slowly, if possible. I will cook up the most sadistic way of killing them. And I will make good on it. They need to pay for committing this sort of sin against cinema. Guys, I kind of knew I was bound to ask this. After all, this is supposed to be a comedy. When does this get funny? We're almost an hour in. Just over 20 minutes left. When the fuck is something funny gonna happen in this fucking comedy? Thank the good gods above, it's fucking over. It's gonna end with a Bollywood dance number. No. I'm not fucking watching that. I've already suffered through an hour and 14. I'm not fucking sitting through a Bollywood bullshit dance sequence to close out this motherfucker. No. Fuck that noise and fuck this movie. In fact, fuck this movie, fuck every person who ever worked on this movie, and fuck every person employed by 20th Century Fox, because that's the studio that put this hunk of shit out in the first place. Now, before I get into reviewing, final joke, before they cut to the closing credits in this Bollywood bullshit, was essentially a joke stolen from Scary Movie 2, cranked to 11. Those of you who've seen Scary Movie 2, and I know a lot of you have, well, at least some of you have, there's a scene where a character basically comes a shit ton, and that's supposed to be seen as funny. Imagine that scene, but with about 1,000,000 times more cum spraying and nowhere near the humor. Mind you, in Scary Movie 2, that scene was shit and was nowhere near funny. Here it's worse. Now, it's bad enough when you're ripping off jokes from shittier parody films out there. I mean, they couldn't have stolen from, like, Scary Movie or Superhero Movie or, one of the, good parody films. No, they had to pick from Scary Movie 2. Yeah. Fun. So, where to even fucking start? The writing. I could probably write a goddamned novel. Full-sized book about how horrible the writing in this goddamn movie was. A lot of people got pissed off when I shat on Tucker and Dale vs. Evil because even though it had jokes, the setup telegraphed the punchline minutes in advance. But I admitted that Tucker and Dale had jokes. This movie doesn't have jokes. None. There isn't a single fucking joke in this entire movie. It's all references. Alright? It is not a joke to make fun of the milkshake speech from There Will Be Blood. And it certainly is not a joke, while you're making that reference, to slip in a reference to the milkshake song in the middle of your reference. That's not funny. That isn't even a joke. That is layering a reference on top of another reference, and the two don't even mix. It's not funny when your character, who's supposed to be like Seth Rogen, and by the way, now just dig this. They went to such creative depths. The character's name is Seth. Ooh, that must have taken hours of, skill to cook up that. There's this awkward moment, and he punches it out by saying, "I'm the Green Hornet." Where's the fucking joke? Where? Where the hell is 3 characters pretending that it's Grand Theft Auto, complete with overlays? How the hell is that funny? Because there's nothing there that actually, builds up to a joke. It's just references. What the fuck is referencing Dos Equis beer ads? What the hell makes that funny? What the fuck did that have to do with anything in the movie? It had nothing to do with the movie. They slipped it in because apparently the writers thought it'd be funny to pick on those idiotic ads for Dos Equis beer. What about the fucking references to the goddamned Verizon guy? 3 times. Everything else gets a single reference. Twilight gets referenced once. Well, technically twice, because the scene's like cut in half. Dos Equis gets 1 reference. Grand Theft Auto gets like 2, but again, that's the same shit, like spread out. And this fucking Verizon guy shows up 3 times. 3 different times, 3 different scenes. None of them are in any way connected. Again, I stated this earlier, that reference was dated when this fucking movie came out, and it certainly has not aged well with time. In fact, none of the references or jokes in this movie have aged well at all. A lot of movies, the humor ages like fine wine. This thing's aged like fucking milk, and it's only 2 years old. Go figure. Makes me almost sick. The fact that I sat here and I watched the stupid thing, the only thing which made me grin were the fucking gag credits at the start. Why? Because those credits were at least honest. Produced by a cheap bastard. Written by... Oh, okay, I must have gotten something on my phone. Screw that. Written by 1 white guy and 1 black guy. It's like that was the only thing that came close to humor. Let's talk about the story. There is no fucking story. It is just a series of worthless, pointless, unneeded, unnecessary, unfunny references strung together. Alright? Fact of the matter is, Andy, our 40-year-old virgin, no time do they ever say he's 41. Andy lives with these high school kids. Of course, they're the fuckheads from Superbad, only, well, except with the serial number filed off. They're also living with Seth Rogen and some other jackass who they start off the film talking basically about how each other's gay. I don't know what the fuck movie that is supposed to be referencing. I have not the foggiest. I can tell you right now, though, the scene was in no way funny. In fact, there wasn't a single reference in this goddamn thing which made me laugh at all. Alright? The only reason why I even know that Mick motherfucking Anal Lovin' is from Superbad is because that joke was in every fucking trailer and it wasn't funny then either. McAnal Lovin' is probably one of the laziest motherfucking jokes you could slip into any goddamn movie. And that's the character's name. That is what everybody calls him. Because he shows up, the very first thing he does is he flashes the card. By the way, I was looking at the cover and I really should have seen it coming because, yeah, he's holding the McAnal Loving license right there. God damn it. I cannot keep that thing near me. I swear to God, I'm just going to snap. Actually, I already am in the middle of snapping. I want this to be known. If the day comes when I lose my sanity and I go on a manhunt, I'm going to let Doug Walker live. I'm going to let every dumb son of a bitch who worked on The Room, worked on August Underground, worked on every other shitty movie I've ever seen, I'm going to let all of them live. I'm going to hunt down and brutally kill every motherfucker who worked on this goddamn movie. Again, that's only if the day comes when I finally snap and I just say fuck everything and I go on a murdering rampage. Because that is the only fitting punishment for working on something this bad. You cannot make a comedy and then fail to give us anything even close to humor. Again, I talked about how I'm going to admit that Tucker and Dale vs. Evil at least had, jokes. As poorly written as they were in fact jokes. It also had a story. As promising as it fucking was, and as crippled as it was by the horrible writing, it at least had a story. That's more than this motherfucking thing will ever have. Telling you guys right now, this is quite possibly the worst movie I have ever seen. This thing tops Birdemic. You guys have always asked, every single time I've covered a bad movie, if anything has topped Birdemic. Nothing has. This just did. Holy shit. I am absolutely disgusted by this because I love comedy. I love to laugh at good humor. There was no humor in this fucking movie because I don't like references. I like jokes. And the worst part is the dialogue when it's not referencing movies. When we don't have an unnecessary Star Wars reference in the middle of a scene, which is just simply to show Yoda with a massive nutsack. I am not making that shit up. If you really want to suffer, go ahead and watch this and you'll see exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. The people... Oh, anyway, back to what I was saying. When they aren't just putting in random references for no fucking reason than just to make references, the characters say fuck every other word. Kind of like what I'm doing now. The difference is, I'm not scripted, and I'm openly pissed. This shit was written, and these actors decided to actually use the script. Every other word is fuck. Folks, I'm going to tell you, the only people who can laugh at reference humor and dialogue that is this vulgar are 6-year-olds. And even then, 6-year-olds are only giggling because they get to hear the word fuck every 3 seconds. That's it. And if you laugh at this kind of crap, I feel really sorry for you. And I apologize to all the fans of Tucker and Dale versus Evil I dissed, because, again, at least they tried. At least there was an effort there. Oh my fucking god. This movie had nothing. There is no redeeming factors to this movie to speak of. The acting sucks, the writing is the worst I have ever seen, and the jokes are non-existent. The references are some kind of a mix between almost stupidly dated and just real shallow references. Most of this is probably dialogue lifted directly from other things I've never seen. Again, I've never seen Knocked Up, I've never seen Superbad, I've never seen The 40-Year-Old Virgin, and I've never seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I don't care to, because none of those looked funny at all. This movie was not a good ambassador for those, but then again, it's a fucking reference movie. Of course it's not going to be a good ambassador for anything. Holy mother of fucking God. I cannot believe how pissed off I am about this. I mean, I really just thought I was going to sit down and just watch another shitty movie. I had this strong feeling it was going to be a piece of shit. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. When I'm done reviewing this thing, I'm going to need to go for a long walk just to blow off some steam. Because bad comedy offends me worse than anything else in the world. I could probably go on for 3 hours about how horrifically bad this movie was. And I'd probably be justified. Like I said, I could probably write a book about everything that's wrong with this fucking movie. I really could. But I'm not going to. No. I'm going to take this thing down to one of my used DVD shops. I'm going to sell it to them, and I'm probably only going to get $1 for it, and that is $1 more than the fucking movie's worth. But frankly, as long as it's out of this house, I will be happy. Because then this house will be clean. It will not have the stink of this godforsaken thing smelling up my DVD collection. Now, probably wondering if I can recommend this. And if you are wondering that, shut up. I'm sorry. No, fuck you. I do not recommend this. If the only way I could possibly recommend this is if you are somehow a fucking masochist and you really want to suffer. If you are just one of those people who absolutely insists on watching the stupidest movies imaginable, go right ahead. Now, there was one positive, though, on this DVD, before I go into the shout-out. The trailers at the start. There was a trailer for a movie. The movie actually looked kind of funny. The movie's called I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. That's probably what I'm going to say, again, when I finally snap and I go fucking ape shit and I kill everybody who worked on this fucking movie. I'm probably going to tell them that because they're all going to be rotting in the deepest pits of hell, probably hoping for a shit ton of beer to help along their suffering. But yeah, I got to see the trailer for I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. That movie looks really good. I might have to check it out at some point. There wasn't a single other redeeming factor in this fucking movie. And I wish ill every human being who worked on it. And I hope that God gets to you long before I do. Because if I get to you, you are going to wish for death, but death will not come. But again, that's only if I finally snap and I lose what little sanity I have left. Now, this movie came off the Amazon wish list. The person who sent it in is a guy who sent in a lot of films. His name is Medio Surreal. I'm going to post a link to his YouTube channel. By all means, go over there, check out anything he has, and dude, thank you. I know, it's kind of shocking. I'm just going to say thank you. I wanted to find something that was worse than Birdemic. Dude, you found it. You found it so much that I'm almost willing to call Birdemic a good film by comparison. Let that sink in for a bit, guys. Now, I need to go do something to go blow off some steam. This movie has offended me that fucking much. So, once more, Medio, dude, thank you. And to everybody else, wow. This is probably the angriest I've ever been while reviewing a movie. Funniest part is I really didn't do a whole lot of yelling, but I've learned when I'm really pissed, I do not yell. Probably seems a bit more frightening. I actually haven't told that, but you guys can tell me in the comments because I have no fucking clue. I need to get out of here. So guys, until next time, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.